A lot of money.
Not about ready to give away the secrets that he may try to use as he goes into the final of Top Fuel Eliminator against Rob Bruins. Here is Gordie Bonin, the Nationals champion. He's got that right lane. Let's see how he can do as he comes up against the Hawaiian, the car owned by Roland Leong and driven by Ron Colson. In the previous round, Colson ran a 6.35 second elapsed time, while Bonin ran a 6.40. Just 0.05 of a second separated their performances. Bear in mind, they were both in the left lane in the previous round, and by virtue of the lower ET, the lane choice going to Ron Colson here in the semifinals. Together, and Colson goes out of control and crosses the center line, which means automatic disqualification. So Gordie Bonin moves into the finals. A fine 6.64 second elapsed time. His speed 231 as the best time turned yet today seems in that right-hand lane by Gordie Bonin. Right here is Ron Colson out of control. You see him heading into that right-hand lane. He backs off the throttle, turns the wheel back to the left, but it's too late. He's already crossed the center line, and that means instant disqualification. You can't cross the center line in any run in competition. Here's Gordie Bonin and Ron Colson.
Gordie Bonin, possibly the only driver this year to make it into 3 final rounds in national event competition.
Well, if that's the case, we're going to have to win it. I mean, we came here, there's only one thing to do, and that's win the darn thing.
Don Garlitz just told me that a man can win this race in that right-hand lane.
He's not wrong. I don't know what we ran, but it felt pretty good for that lane. It felt the best run I've felt or seen all weekend in that lane.
In the 660s, and let's go back up to the starting line and see if you win lane choice.
Okay.
Okay, let's watch.
As Gordie Bonin watches, John Force hopefully overcomes his mistake of the previous round and will start the car in low gear off the starting line. He had a big break as he wanted his crew member directing him back into his own tracks, trying for the traction that he hopes against hope will be there. Alongside of him, Tripp Shumake. Driving for Johnny Loper. Shumake hailing out of Phoenix, Arizona. As he told Steve a little bit earlier, this is the first time he got to the semifinals of a national event this year. In the previous round, Shumake with a 6.60 easily outdistanced the time by John Force. But all important right now is how quick will they run to determine who gets the lane choice in the finals against Gordie Bonin. And they both smoke the tires. John Force drifting out towards the guardrail. He backs out of it and gets back in it, but it's too late as Tripp Shumake moves into the finals. His elapsed time, 6.88 seconds, and a dejected crew member heads back for John Force's crew to go down and tow the car back as race day is over for John Force. You see the two cars both losing traction right off the starting line, and Shumake, recovering the quickest, gets the traction back and gets across the finish line first.
Well, the little guy is walking tall here today at the World Finals. I think this is your first ever final round appearance, and it's a big race.
It is. It's the first time I've ever been in an NHRA final. Wow. I'm awed.
Now, you won't have lane choice, but it's beginning to look like it's evening out.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not really sure what to do, but it's been so much luck all day. I figure we can just at least long in the final. It helps out my crew and helps out everybody. It's been a long weekend.
Pumps everybody up for the season to come.
Yeah, we had such a bad season anyway, and then to finish.
You get a lot of fires, a lot of burned up bodies. And...
Yes, our second car and my third fire suit.
Tripp Shumake. It hasn't been a good year, but things are looking up here in the final race of the season. Wife Suzy in here, John Loper who owns the car. Back to you, David.
Steve, we're getting set for the finals of Top Fuel, Funny Car, and Pro Stock here at the World Finals. It's incredible the amount of work that is performed on these cars in the short time between the rounds of elimination. In Tripp Shumake's area, crewman taking the wheels and tires off, while car owner Johnny Loper under the rear of the vehicle checking something out in the rear end. Wife Suzy Shumake somewhat pensive as she is watching the crew working on the car, and driver and husband Tripp Shumake in adjusting the clutch and working on the rear of the motor. Let's go over to Gordie Bonin's pit.
There's a real thrash going on here at the Canadian pacemaker car of Gordie Bonin. Jerry Verhill's the crew chief. I understand you haven't heard a thing. What's all this thrash?
Well, we want to win, so we thought we better look and make sure. You know, these things are. They can break, and you don't even know it. So.
U.S. Nationals, you didn't hurt apart, but you field strip at every run.
We put 8 pistons in it today to start with, because the 8 that were in when we got here were from Indy.
How about your driver here? What do you think of his job today?
Doing fine, just like always. Don't worry about him.
Do you talk to him at all? Do you give him any advice on driving? He doesn't bother you about the motor, you don't bother him.
I take care of this, and he takes care of that, and if we both do our job, we'll come out okay, right?
And it's been a great team so far.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, the